I always believe that real love finds you at the most unexpected moment. Not when you're searching for it, not when you tell yourself you're ready, but when you're just living your life. Running late for work, clutching a cup of coffee, cursing at morning traffic, and then suddenly, you meet her. My name's Michael. I was born and raised in Seattle, working back then at a small office downtown, doing IT support. Not the flashiest job in the world, but I like my rhythm. A latte with cinnamon at the cafe on the corner, morning runs along the waterfront, evenings with friends at the bar where the Mariners game was always on. I felt like life was only just beginning, like I had so many stories still waiting for me. She appeared one rainy morning. I was rushing to a meeting, shirt half soaked, mood in the gutter, when I ducked into a cafe. That's when I saw her. She stood in line ahead of me in a bright yellow raincoat, her wet hair falling across her shoulders. She was laughing with the barista, telling some story about her dog. And that laugh, it was alive, warm, the kind of sound that lights you up inside. I don't even know where I found the courage, but I spoke to her. She turned, looked right into my eyes, and that was it. That was the moment. It felt like someone had flipped a switch inside me. Her name was Emily. She worked in marketing, lived not far from me, and in minutes we were talking like we'd known each other for years. We started dating. Those first weeks were like a dream. Evenings with pizza and cheap wine, long walks to the city, conversations that stretched till sunrise. I showed her my favorite places, the little bookstore where I spent hours at the rooftop of an office building with the best nighttime view of Seattle. She pulled me into her world, too, introducing me to her friends, dragging me along to big gatherings where we drink craft beer, argue about movies and music, and laugh until our sides hurt. We built dreams together. We talked about traveling, first New York, then Europe, maybe someday Japan. I pictured us renting a small apartment, stringing fairy lights across the walls, getting a dog, spending Sundays at the park. For the first time in my life, I thought about the future with someone and felt like it was real, like it was possible. Our days were full of little joys. I remember us lying on the floor of my apartment, eating takeout Chinese straight from the boxes, binge-watching shows, or the time we woke up one Saturday and decided on a whim to drive down to Portland. We blasted music in the car, sang along like kids, then stopped by the coast and sat for hours just watching the waves. I was happy, truly happy, and I believe she was too. But then something changed. At first it was subtle. She replied less often to my texts, said she was tired, stressed at work. When we were together, she seemed distant, present in body but not in spirit. I'd ask if something was wrong, and she'd smile, kiss me, say, "I'm fine, just tired." I tried not to overthink it. Everyone goes through rough patches. But deep down, I felt the cold creeping in. She wasn't looking at me the way she used to. Her laughter became rarer. Then I started noticing things. She'd flip her phone face down when I walked into the room. She worked late more often. She mentioned new friends, but vaguely, never in detail. I told myself I was being paranoid, that it was just my insecurities, but the heart knows the truth before the mind does. One evening, I decided to surprise her. I bought her favorite cake, planning to drop by her apartment, make a little celebration in the middle of the week. I was smiling all the way there, picturing her delight. When I got to her building, I heard laughter inside before I even knocked. The door was slightly ajar. I pushed it open, and there he was, sitting on her couch, holding her hand, and she was looking at him the way she used to look at me. The ground vanished beneath me. I didn't even feel anger at first, just emptiness. I set the cake down on the table by the door and walked out. I remember wandering the rainy streets, my body trembling, not from the cold, but from the realization that it was over. Later came the conversations, the tears, the excuses. Her soft, "I never meant to hurt you." She said she was confused, that she didn't know what she wanted. But I knew. She had made her choice, and it wasn't me. The pain was unbearable. Anger tangled with disappointment. I kept asking myself, were all those nights, those conversations, our dreams, were they a lie? Did she ever really love me? I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. with my chest aching, like the heartbreak was physical. My friends tried to pull me out. dragging me to bars, distracting me with jokes and small talk, and for a while I'd laugh with them, but then I'd come home to the silence, to the empty space where she used to be. I thought a lot about trust, how easily we hand our hearts to someone, believing they'll guard it. And then one day you realize your heart was just another option for them. That's the worst part, feeling replaceable. Weeks passed. I started writing, journals, notes on my phone, anything to spill out the chaos inside. I kept trying to understand, where did we go wrong? Did I fail her somehow? Was I blind to signs? Or maybe she just wasn't who I thought she was, and I loved the version of her I wanted her to be. One evening, I sat by the waterfront at our spot. The waves pounded the shore, the sky was gray, and I realized I can't let this betrayal define me. I have to feel it, learn from it, but not let it chain me. So, I started running every day. I signed up for a pottery course, reconnected with old college friends. Step by step, I began living for myself again. Yes, memories of her still hurt, but I've also learned something. Even when love breaks you, it teaches you strength. What happens next? I don't know. Maybe I'll meet someone new, and we'll build what I once dreamed of. Or maybe I'll keep walking this road alone until I truly find myself. But I know one thing for certain. Even after betrayal, the heart doesn't lose its ability to love. It just becomes more cautious. And now, as I sit with a cup of coffee, watching the city through the window, writing these words, I feel not just pain, but hope. Hope that there are more stories ahead of me. Hope that someday I'll hear that kind of laughter again, the kind that lights me up from the inside.